Oh, somebody else is here besides me. Hello. Hello, hello. Let's see. Ooh, there's a couple somebodies here besides me. Hello and good morning or afternoon. It's actually lunchtime where I am. I don't know what time it is where you all are. So we're continuing work on the canvas repaint based on some photos of my Aunt Marcella. As I said last week, she was a very religious person, and so I thought it was more than appropriate to collage some Bible pages on here. In some cases, obviously, right in front of her face. We're just going to do a few here. Although I have a large stack, that doesn't mean I have to use them all. And although I'm no longer a practicing Catholic, I will tell you there is a small part of me that feels guilty about tearing up an old Bible. You know. So anyway, I'm good with that. I don't know if I want to add any more. That sponge doesn't need to be there. How are you all? I hope you all had a great weekend. All right, so I also am going to do some crazy stuff. I've got a couple stencils here. Now these are not DecoArt. I did, of course, use Americana Deco Page to adhere the Bible pages to the canvas. I love Deco Page, and it comes in a lot of different formulas, including matte, glossy, one for paper, one for, everything, one that's tinted, which I use a lot, as you probably all know. I have a couple of stencils, like I said, they're not DecoArt. We're going to start with this one. There's something about this one I like. And I think I want to just do red. I don't know why I want to do red. I bumped the camera there. Did you see that? All right, let's grab a plate here. My table's a disaster. I've been working on projects the last couple days, and the table's just really a disaster. Ew, that was not a fun close-up of my face. With no makeup and wrinkles, and yeah, anyway. So we're going to take this little stencil, which reminds me again of vintage wallpaper, which the background on this painting does kind of too. And I'm just using a makeup sponge. Now, because you're doing this on canvas and it's, there's nothing behind it, you're not going to probably get a perfect impression, and I'm okay with that. Oh, can you hear the gardeners? I'll give you one guess how we all know the gardeners here. You can hear my dog barking. It doesn't matter if it's my gardener or the next door neighbor gardener. He does not like gardeners, period. So although I am trying not to think too much about where I'm putting this stencil, I am trying to bounce it around the canvas so it's kind of traveling and evenly spaced out all over the canvas. I don't want it just in one place, in case some of it shows later. Okay, there's that one. And let's do aquamarine, because I like aquamarine. Nobody has any questions yet? You guys are all awfully quiet. All right, We have this other stencil here. And again, these are not DecoArt stencils. Although DecoArt has a bunch of really great stencils. These were the two that were on the top of my pile, to be really honest. So most good acrylic paintings or canvas paintings have lots of layers of mark making and color on them. So don't be afraid to just layer your colors and your marks and your paint on top of each other until you get something that's a really great result. And you might put a layer that you regret later. That's okay, just keep going. Okay, that's pretty good. We're going to stop there with the stenciling. Put the sponge in the water. We're losing viewers. I don't know how many of you are there or not there, but anyway, I'm not popular this morning. All right, let's see. I am going to start with fixing the shape of her face because it's not quite right. Her hairline's not quite right, but we're going to keep working on that. I am going to this morning take some burnt umber, which is a brown. Hey, Mama Cat's Crafts. Hello, good morning. And I'm going to take some, I almost said titanium white, but I don't think that's an name. This, yeah, titanium white. These are DecoArt Artists Traditions acrylic paints. Hang on a second, the top is clogged up. Okay, I think it's good. Of course, we're going to take some more of the aquamarine because, you know, I love that color. And I'm loving it on this canvas. We are going to take some yellow ochre. And I'm just kind of listening to instincts right now. Dioxazine purple. These are all the DecoArt Traditions Artist acrylic paints. FYI. And what is this one? Carbon black. I might want some more red because I might want to make pink. So let's do that. Let's put some red right here, right smack in the middle. And we're going to start out this morning, I think, with a flat brush. I don't know what size flat because the handle's all junked up. Well loved. So I don't know. So I'm going to start with trying to fix the shape of her face because this is not quite right. Her chin was a little bit too pointed compared to the photo. And of course, I have my baby wipes close by. This is the picture we're working on. I'm not sure how, I'm in California. I'm not sure how well you can see it. It's not a super sharp picture. If you're thinking it's a little blurry, it's because it is blurry. That's much better. I have to say, that's much better. Oh, I'm in San Jose. Okay, I'm gonna just wipe my brush off on. Hi, Lisa. I was hoping I was just a little bit early for everybody and I wasn't like totally unpopular today. But, you know, not that there's ever a lot of us here and I don't really care. If there's only like 2 of us, I'm good with that, but yeah, anyway. Okay. Where was I? We're working on the shape of her face because it wasn't quite right from last week. So we're redefining things a little bit. I'm going to start with yeah, you're not too far away. Mama Cat Crafts, you're not too far away. And Lisa is in Santa Rosa, I think. So a lot of Californians here right now. So I'm just mixing some of the yellow ochre with some of the white. I have some blue on my brush, so it's turning a little bit green, but for this stage in the painting, I'm kind of okay with that. I do kind of want, I think, more light on this side of her face, like is in the photograph. Although it's black and white, so it's, you know, it can be challenging to find the light sometimes. So I'm just not only adjusting the shape of her face, but defining the features, making sure I have the right, you know, highlights in the right places, and being a little bit more careful about where I put my colors than we were last week. Now, who watched Clive Five's art broadcast about alcohol? So I loved his broadcast, especially because it reminded me of something I knew already and forgot. Alcohol can reactivate acrylic paint. If it's kind of dried on there and you want to move it around, you probably won't get all of it off, but you'll get some of it off. So if you're doing something like this and you stand back and go, holy crap, what did I do? Get some alcohol in there. I'm going to grab a baby wipe. Let's see, I'm going to do it without hopefully knocking into the camera. Okay. Yeah, all the Californians are in the house. So now I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to blend the marks I just made a little bit, the light color that I just put on here. I'm not really treating anything that was already on here too preciously. If I spread this around and I get it in the wrong place, I'll just switch my baby wipe to a clean spot and wipe it off. I'm going to do my little bit of blending here and then stand back. That's already better. If you look at this and the picture, the shape, just look at the shapes that you see. That's already better. There goes the dog again. You know, you would never know that the doctors thought he was sick. To be honest with you, you would never know. Sick my behind. He's going to go from 60 to 0, and that's how we're going to, you know, lose him someday. He's going to He's going to just stop because he doesn't have a slow speed. He really doesn't. So the yellows in general are a light, bright, warm color. So you can use them to suggest the highlights in your paintings, the light spots where the sun is hitting, whatever you're painting, whether you're painting a face or something else. I find it more challenging to use colors like this than to use flesh tones. Plus, let's be honest, I'm kind of picky and I never seem to be satisfied with the flesh tones I mix, which is going to surprise some of you who have taken classes with me, especially over in Crazy Island Family, I think. I just seem to be happier when I'm painting with the goofy colors than when I'm painting with realistic colors. I think it's the closet perfectionist in me. If I can't do it perfectly, I don't want to do it at all. We're going to go back to the turquoise for our aquamarine. Good morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are in the world. We're continuing work on my painting based on the photos I have of my great aunt Marcella. And to give you a little bit of family history that you probably don't want while I'm adding in and fixing the colors and adjusting the shadows and lights and altering the shape of her face. Great Aunt Marcella's brother, Ray, or should I say Renato, married my grandmother. And at the wedding, or during that whole process, Aunt Marcella met my grandmother's brother, Aldo, and they also got married. So I have what we call double cousins. She's a pretty special lady. And the families hung out a lot together. I remember spending a lot of time at her house. Mumbai, India. Oh, wow. Thank you. And I prefer to paint faces, portraits with colors like this. I think it's more expressive and more interesting than using flesh tones. Although I do admire artists who can paint with flesh tones and do such a fabulous job, especially if they can make it photorealistic. Like, honestly, I don't have the patience for that, to be perfectly honest. I just don't. She has these, as I said last week, these large shadows under her eyes, bags under her eyes, which I've also inherited. In case you haven't ever seen my face, most of the time you see my hands or the back of my head. They're kind of a family trait. Anyway, trying to get those where they're suggested correctly. I think is going to be challenging. Actually, you know what? That's not bad. That's actually not bad. I think I might have to leave her face alone for a little bit because I actually kind of like that. I don't know about you guys. Sydney, Australia, welcome. Yeah, there's something about that I like. I'm going to work a little bit on her hair. I have some black and some purple here and more of the aquamarine. So I'm going to, my brush is dirty with the aquamarine, so I'm going to go ahead and dip it in the black, which is going to make the black kind of a blue. Hey, Kathy from Kentucky. Cool. I was saying a few minutes ago, I was, worried that today wasn't a good day to do a broadcast. I was going to be on here all by myself because when I first came on, I was actually losing viewers. So we started out with putting some collage on here, and I collaged on some Bible pages. My aunt was a very religious person, and having Bible pages on here is very appropriate. Her daughter, Nancy, is a very good friend slash cousin slash sister of mine. And bonus, the woman likes to do bookkeeping, so I do art tutoring and sort of life coaching kind of things with her. And she comes over and does my bookkeeping for me for my art business, like bonus. That's getting there. So I haven't done too much, and look at the difference in her face and how much more this resembles the photograph. I haven't done that much. I'm going to put the big flat brush away for a minute, and let's get out the little filbert. I'm going to dip into the violet here, the dark purple. Purple is a great shadow color. When you're, looking for color alternatives to black and gray and white, purple is a great shadow color. So I'm just putting a little bit on, and then I'm going to be spreading it around, adding to the shadows I see in her face. And because I'm working on a portrait of a real person, and I do want there to be some kind of a resemblance, normally you all know that I at some point stop looking at the photograph and I'm just interested in creating artwork. But in this case, I don't necessarily want to do that because I do want it to have some sort of resemblance to the real person. Ooh, I like the addition of the purple. Thanks, Corkay. You haven't missed a whole lot. I was just saying, I haven't done a whole lot, and already it looks much more like the photo than it did when I got started. I actually haven't done a lot. I know you're not going to believe me. I started out by adding some Bible pages for collage and some stenciling right on top of the face in some cases. I purposefully put a little bit of collage right here because I knew the shape of her face from last week was too narrow. I had to widen her chin. I knew that already. So I put that right there. I knew their general shape of her face wasn't quite right. Plus these marks, I'm going to leave some of these, and these are going to add interest to the face. While I want it to have a resemblance to her, I want it to be an artistic resemblance. Yeah. And right now we're just adding in some violet. I started out with re-outlining her face after I got the stenciling and the collage on there with the aquamarine, Then I mixed some yellow ochre with white, and I started fixing the highlights. Then I went back to the aquamarine, and now I'm using violet. Violet's another great shadow color. I also put a little bit of black mixed with the aquamarine in her hair. She's looking really good. I wasn't so sure this morning. I wasn't so sure this morning that I was going to be able to be on camera in something other than my gym clothes because I had to take the dog to the vet this morning. But I did manage to get myself showered for y'all. Okay, that's not quite right there. Let's see. Hold on. One thing at a time. So, you know, when you're painting paintings like this, whether you're working on a flower garden or you're working on a face, you know, I don't want you guys to be intimidated by maybe having something come out wrong. One of the joys of acrylic paint is that you can just put more paint over it, or if you catch it right away like that, see, I adjusted the shape of that eye, and I know her photo is blurry, but you'll have to trust me that it's closer to the shape of the eye in the photo now. It was too pointed. He's okay. You know, he's getting old. He had to go to the doctor because he's got skin tags now, you know, just like his human dad. Well, Bob will just love me telling the whole world that he's had, not skin tags, sorry, fatty tumors. But Bandit also has skin tags. So we took him initially to the doctor for that, then discovered he needed to have his teeth cleaned and his toenails clipped, then discovered that he might have cancer. They're still not sure on the cancer thing. All the tests they ran came back fine. So it may or may not be cancer. We're going to let it be. And we're going to just, you know, keep him comfortable. He's old. He's 12. I don't personally think he's sick. I think he's just old. He acts like he's a puppy still. So, you know, when I went to go get his leash this morning, he was like, oh, cool, we're going for another ride. There's a little pink spot that ended up on her lip right here and a white streak that I'm liking. So I'm to the point now where I'm not kind of wanting to touch that. I need a different brush. Let's use this one. Oh, thank you, Maria. Yeah, I guess, but cool, as long as I paint. Yay! Well, I did get dressed and I did even wash my hair. I did have to put it in braids because, you know, I'm messy. I was working on that texture stuff. If you follow me on social media, you saw pictures of it last night. I actually woke up this morning and I had gel medium in my hair. Like, seriously, I'm a disaster when it comes to being an artist. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. I forgot. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my light color here for a minute. Because, again, we're refining our shapes, right? And yes, my baby wipe hasn't gone too far. It's in my hand. Yeah, see, Maria, we're all the same. We're having so much fun with our supplies, you know, we forget to keep our hair and things out of it. I know I definitely do. Okay, I need to go in with just the white a little bit. And I'm barely touching the brush to the canvas because I really want it to be suggestive, right? I don't want it to be literal. But I've lost the whites of her eyes a little bit. There goes the dog again. Why do I have this feeling I missed something between Lisa and Maria? Okay, we are going to, she had brown eyes, so we're going to wipe our brush off here, the one that has the black on it and purple. And I'm going to grab a little bit of the brown that I've got on my palette. Because, you know, I'm Italian, so brown is the dominant eye color in the family, although we do have brown-eyed cousins. I mean, blue-eyed cousins. I knew what I meant. You all knew what I meant too, right? He is. He doesn't like people in his yard at all. And he hates the gardener. I think it's the noise, the sound that they're, you know, the weed whacker and stuff make. And it's funny, we've never had dogs that like the gardener. So there's that too. So I'm almost looking more at the picture than I am at the painting. And I'm almost painting without even looking. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm here every Monday morning. Now, I will tell you all, I'm not going to be here next Monday. As we say that, I'm going to be out of town. So I won't be here next Monday. But I'm normally here every single Monday. So there you go. Thanks, Maria. Thanks, Lisa. So those of you who don't know, Lisa is one of our newest admins over in the Facebook group. She's the one who spends all the time welcoming everybody and reminding you all to read the rules. So yay, Lisa. Thank you, because that's a big job. So this is the stage where you're definitely just being more careful. And it's not that I'm not still trying to keep my marks expressive. I'm just being a lot more careful than I was in the beginning about where those marks are. This is the time when I don't rush. I just take my time. This is probably the time when it's easier to answer questions. I'm back to the violet, by the way. And I don't know how you're supposed to say it, but it looks like it's spelled dioxazine violet. So I'm going to leave her face alone for a little bit because I'm really kind of okay with her face. In fact, I'm very okay with her face. We're going to work a little bit on her blouse here. which is really blurry in the photo, but that's okay. And the back doing, I think we're going to do something with some of the background here. Oh, so let's see. I'm going to just go straight into the yellow ochre. I've got a giant round brush. What size is this? This is an American Painter round number 12. I just grabbed a round brush. Thanks, Lisa. We try really hard to be a nice bunch. In fact, not being nice gets you kicked out of my group, and you don't get any warnings. Like, there's no warnings. If you're not nice, you're gone. I don't put up with that. Like, we're about art and being kind to one another and then encouraging each other in life and in art, and there's no room for unkindness. There just isn't. But we do allow for you to like, if you have a favorite like Facebook group, you can advertise that in my group. So I've got this very large brush here, and we are going to just focus for a bit on her blouse. And I'm not so worried about being, you know, again, the original photo is blurry and indistinct. So I'm more worried about getting the suggestions of the features right and the suggestion of the blouse right than I am actually painting the original blouse. And I wouldn't mind leaving some of the stenciling and the flowers down here. Oh, thanks. No drama in my group. It's not allowed. Like, I'll get you kicked out like right away. No, I don't put up. I have no patience for it, to be honest with you. And I've been unwittingly involved in some drama that's been fired at me, and I don't appreciate it. So I know you guys don't. So I'm just using the colors that are on my palette. Again, the photo is black and white, so we don't know really what the original colors were. Like with the face, I'm focusing on getting the lines of the blouse right. Cool. So Lisa helps with some of that. So it's good to have your real name so that we know. And if for some reason you've tried to join the group and you didn't get any response, please private message me either over YouTube or over Facebook and let me know that's who you are. Because I know for some of you, like Mama Cats, you have a different name on Facebook than you have on YouTube. And it's possible that we don't know that it's you. It's also possible if you're new to Facebook that we don't know it's you and that we think you're a spammer. So let us know. And if you guys try painting like this, I sure would love to see what you come up with. That would just be so much fun. So I'm really just looking at where are the shadows in the pattern of her blouse and where can I kind of be suggestive about putting in marks. And I will definitely be coming in with my baby white, which is getting a little dry now, but that's okay. Moving some of the paint around, leaving some of the marks, but not all of them. She's looking pretty good there. We're gonna have to switch to another baby white soon. All right, I'm gonna go in with, I think I want to go in with the purple. I'm not gonna clean my brush. I don't know what color we're gonna get. It's gonna be a surprise. Surprise, surprise. Let's see. There is like a bow on her shirt. I don't know how successful I'm going to be suggesting said bow. You can tell I'm having fun. My hands are messy again. Cindy Utter, one of my other admins, posted some really great daily thoughts today. I think they resonate with a lot of us over in the group who have chronic issues. And really, you know, you can't get to be a certain age without having some kind of issues, right? And I say that not really with tongue in cheek, like, because I'm one of those ones. So. It's ironic that in the photo right here, you can't really see it again because the photo is kind of far away and blurry, but there's a flower, an obvious like daisy, and there's a clump of flowers right here on the painting from the original background. So I'm trying hard to leave them. Now, if you're really a crazy mixed media artist and you're doing a painting like this, you know, save your baby wipes, because by the time you're done, you have a whole stack of them that are good and painty, and they make great collage material. I'm really liking that. This is distracting me from her face. So I think we need to do something wacky and crazy. You guys are gonna like think I'm insane, but you probably already do, so it's all right. All right, let's get a brush. We're gonna mix our black with what's left of our aquamarine. Just because it's on my plate, I want to use up what I have. I want to create a different color, and I don't want to waste any paint. So that's going to give me this bluish gray color. So I'm not going to go too far before I come in with my baby wipe. And I'm not necessarily looking to completely wipe out the original background of the original canvas painting that was on here, the painting failure. But I am definitely looking to tone it down a little bit. And that also helps make, this is a trick I do a lot with my Buddhas especially, so it makes her, the shape, you can really suggest the shape of her face if it kind of blends in with the background and there's not a distinct line. But you can see a little bit of the background there, and that I like. I'm going to put my plate down for a minute so I can really get in here with my baby wipe, and I'll look at the chat in a second. I see it scrolling. If you want to take a really interesting paid-for course in this style of painting, I really do suggest that you go look at Pauline Agnew. She's a teacher out of Ireland, and she does a lot of teaching expressive painting. She's my teacher. So now, because I did that, her face really stands out. We do need to add some highlights to her hair because now it blends in too much with the background. We're going to use some, what color is this? This is phthalo blue. Blue is a great highlight color to black. I could use the aquamarine, but I'm really wanting to use a different color. And I'm going to mix it with a little white and make a light blue. So I can't, so I'm seeing the posts, and Lisa's right, Mama Cats. This is an old painting. I have the same problem the rest of you do, throwing anything away. This was a painting failure. If you go back and look at last week's episode, and I'm going to retitle it Aunt Marcella Part 1, then you'll see that I did consider this a painting failure. It was something that was done when I first got started. It wasn't done very well, and but I couldn't throw it away. It was a canvas. There was nothing wrong with it. So I knew it, and I have a stack of these in the garage. Like, if you guys could see them, like, if you think you have a huge stack, you haven't seen my stack. That's all I can say about that. So I'm going to go in here again with just a little bit of the blue paint. So don't feel like, you know, you're the only one who has like stacks of things, you know, that you can't throw away, that they're failures. Like, seriously, I've got loads of those. So I'm going to work again. We're going to work kind of quickly. She's got this 1940s like curly hair thing going on. I didn't realize how curly her hair was when she was younger. I don't know why I didn't realize that, because my dad and his dad both had really curly hair. Okay, so again, I'm going to put my palette down and take my dirty baby white. And if you want to move the paint around and maybe take some of it off, just keep moving your baby wipe around to a cleaner spot, and that will allow you to do that. Work kind of quickly. Again, if you didn't see Clive Five's arts video last week or this weekend, I don't know when maybe he posted it this weekend, about alcohol. Alcohol will sort of reactivate some of your acrylic paints. Okay, now that's way too dirty. So if it dries a little bit too quickly for you, before you can get in and move it around, you can, of course, cover it up. You could get a little bit of alcohol on a paper towel and see if you can move it around. Oh, that's better. See what I mean? I didn't do too much at all. And look at what that did as compared to the original photo. It's much closer. I'm going to just stick with the baby wipe here for a minute. I'm going to grab some of the purple. Okay, well, I have to do that on video. I can't, we're broadcasting right now on the webcam. Actually, what I could probably do is take some pictures, or I'll take a video and I'll post it to the Facebook group. How's that? Will that work for everybody? I have stacks and cabinets full of failures. I seriously do. So I'm literally just finger painting with the baby wipe. That's all I'm doing. Some of the stenciling is showing through. Some of the Bible pages are showing through, and they're just adding more interest and expression to the original painting. To the painting. You knew what I was saying, right? You can just paint over it. If it's, if you are like me and you've done a bunch of paintings, and when I first got started, I didn't know anything about sealing your paintings. I didn't know you were supposed to varnish them when you were done if you wanted to, save it for posterity. Nobody said anything to me about that. And, it's funny, there's a distinct lack until recently of, how to clean your brushes properly and things like that, like basic 101. And so I have all these canvases. Most of them are really bad, and none of them are varnished. I have this one really big one that's not really bad, but it's huge, and it's very religious. It's got Bible passages on it. I don't know what the heck I'm going to do with it. The person who I made it for decided that they couldn't afford it when it was done, and I'd already had it framed. It was going to be in a gallery. Anyway, it's out in the garage, so I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It's huge. So I like this, and you can see some of the stenciling there. She's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy. I was thinking it was going to be one more week before we really got this done, but I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe that's not true. Well, I've forgotten a lot about computers. All I can say is I did get my computer networking thing fixed. It was partly AT&T, partly some settings on my computer. I don't really know exactly what I did, but whatever it was, I did it well. I don't know. I used to know how to write HTML back in the day. That was a long time ago, and I've forgotten most of it. So if you just work in small patches and small of paint, if you put it down there and you don't like it, of course, because it's acrylic, you can just paint over it, let it dry. But you can get in here with the baby wipe, and you can just virtually just wipe it off if you want. Oh, hello. What's his name? I'll say hi to him personally if you type his name in the chat. When I was his age, I was always with my crayons and markers and pencils and my coloring books. I think my parents and my aunt didn't know what else to do with me, to be honest with you. Natino, well, hello and welcome this morning. I'm so glad you're here today. I hope you like art as much as I do. It's so fun painting. You should have him paint on one of your pieces. That's like the most fun way to do paintings. Annie, what is her last name? She's one of the Teachers in Life books. She just did that as one of her lessons. It wasn't the focus of the lesson, so I don't mind saying that, but and I've seen other teachers do it, and she's just the latest one, but they have their children, color on their page. I'm kind of liking her. Let's see, should we go back to her face for a bit? I'm kind of liking what's going on down here. I'm not really wanting to touch it, and I'm liking what's going on with the background and her hair a lot. Let's go in with, I don't know if we need to go in with anything, to be honest with you. I'm going to take a little bit of the purple and mix it with the red that I've got here and see if I can make a sort of brighter purple red color. I don't know if I need it though. Oh yeah, it's nice and bright. Oh, thank you. And yeah, painting with kids. I mean, my daughter, I can't do that anymore. She's a grown up, but we definitely did that when she was little. Oh, thank you. I actually was not thinking that we would get her done today, but I'm pleasantly surprised to tell you guys that I might have been wrong. See what I mean? If you save these, look at that. I don't save them anymore because I've got a huge stack of them, but I don't know, you guys. She might be finished. I think that's fabulous. I only have one, but I had a daycare business for a long time, award-winning daycare, and I like to say that because it makes me feel good. Award-winning daycare. And I always did art with the kids. We had a whole homeschooling program. The kids are fabulous. They love to do art. They love to get messy. They love to explore new things, and they're so free. You know, I have to tell you guys, I think she might be finished. I really like her, and I'm really not wanting to do anything else to her. She does need a little touch of white in her eyes, I think. I have to get a clean brush. It's easier than washing a brush. Okay, we're going to get a really tiny filbert because it's handy. Yeah, oh, yeah, exactly. Oh, we will. I will. I'll let her sit overnight, and we will decide. I really like her, and I wouldn't be surprised if I end up leaving her at all. Now, you could do this with another color besides white. You don't have to do white. I need another baby wipe again. Since I'm going to be gone next week, I will probably let her sit for the week, and I'll revisit her when I come back. Now, while I want the white to be on here because it's a really bright pop, I don't necessarily want it to be anything more than a suggestion. So that's why I'm coming in here and with the baby wipe and smudging some of the white mark out, blending it in. Thank you so much, and hi, Myrtle. Yeah, I think she might be finished. I have a really strong suspicion that other than a few of these white highlights, that she might very well be done. That doing anything else to her might be doing too much. You definitely can overwork a painting. How many of you artists out there love it when you go to Costco to buy a case of baby wipes and the especially if we're not young anymore, and the clerk says, "Oh, that's do you have how many children do you have?" Or worse yet, they ask you how many grandchildren you have. None. I have one child. She's an adult. She doesn't need the baby wipes. They just look at me. She's looking pretty good, and I'm kind of not. Let's see. I keep saying that, but I keep touching things. Let's see. I gotta just stop saying that. Well, I don't mind putting some white in her blouse. I don't want it to be the focus, and I'm going to smudge a lot of it out because I don't want it to detract from her face too much. Oops. Yeah. Yeah, step away from the painting before you ruin it. I like the way she's come out, and I'm pretty happy with her. We've been on for an hour, so that's the end of it anyway. But you can tell we had a good time because I've got a pile of dirty baby wipes. I've got a messy palette plate, and my hands are messy. So you can tell I had a good time. But she's looking pretty good. She may very well be done. I'm going to leave her and let her sit. And I was going to paint over this blue part that landed in her eyebrow, but I kind of like it, so we're going to leave it. The real Myrtle. Oh, I'm sorry you're having a rough day. I hope your day gets better. And thank you, Kathy and Lisa and Yasna and Mama Cats and everybody very much. I love the way she's coming along. We're going to keep working on paintings like this on Monday with DecoArt. DecoArt paints are a really affordable, great way to experiment with your mixed media or painting. They're fabulous. So I would definitely encourage you to give them a shot. I've also used some of the Americana craft paints on her. So, and I've used them many years in the past. I am pretty pleased with how she's turning out. So we will step back from her and take a look and see what happens. Thanks. And so we're going to keep doing paintings like this on Monday and with DecoArt going forward. I've got a stack of these out in the garage. I'm going to do some filming for you guys today, and I will upload the film of my canvas duds to the Facebook group, directly to the Facebook group. So if you're not, if you want to see, you know, the fact that I'm not exaggerating and I've got a ton of canvas duds, you know, just like the rest of you, failures, then join the Facebook group because I'm going to post it directly in there. I'm so glad that you had a good time and that you're here to paint with me on Mondays. Wednesday, we will be here for Watercolor Wednesday. I'm not going to be back for a live Monday with DecoArt next week. I am taking a week off. I will be back the Monday after that, which is, what Monday is that? The 22nd. And if she's done, I'll let you guys know ahead of time, and we'll be starting a new canvas. I won't be back on the week of the 15th. I won't be here for any live broadcasts, but there is stuff already posted to air here on YouTube for you guys, so no worries. You can still get your fix if you need it. Oh, I hope you have a quiet night too. I grew up in a big family. I enjoy the quiet. All right, that's it for right now, everybody. Don't forget the most important thing. You all know what that is, right? Besides art and painting, of course. Have a great day. Do something nice for yourself because you deserve it, and I'll see you later. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.